Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Dominant Mets Nation, where the New York Mets take game two of the NLCS, winning 7-3 over the big bad LA Dodgers. Well, folks, game one, if you're a New York Mets fan, that was quite a stinker. But this was kind of the tale of two different games. We saw a version of the New York Mets that we've seen quite often throughout this regular season, especially as of late, going into the playoffs and fighting for that playoff seeding. This version of the New York Mets has reared its face time and time and time again. And you know what, folks? The New York Mets needed to take care of business. They needed at least one game out of LA. One game for either game one or game two. Game one, we know, was horrific. But you know what? We're going to talk about a couple very key things going forward. One thing I want to address right off the top, because I've seen it all over the internet. Oh, the Dodgers, they punted. They gave away game two. They gave it to the Mets. They did a bullpen game. Honestly, I don't give a damn what the Dodgers were trying to do, but that's a load of crap because the Dodgers aren't that dumb. Game two of the NLCS, you're just not going to give it away. This is why I wanted to face the Dodgers, folks. I wanted the Dodgers. I wanted this path. I wanted the Brewers. I wanted the Phillies. I wanted the Dodgers. Why, you ask? Because they have pitching issues. And this showed up today. Now, the Dodgers were going in with a scoreless streak. We know the Mets got shut out yesterday. Today, it was so damn important for the Mets superstars to come through. Francisco Lindor, very first inning, huge, monumental home run to get the Mets off the snide. And you know, the New York Mets, and this is why I say the Dodgers wouldn't any way in hell try to punt this game, is because the New York Mets are a team that they feed off of their confidence. And you could see throughout the playoff series. And this is why I have wholeheartedly believe the New York Mets stand a very good chance to win the World Series, is because they are gaining more and more confidence as they win. And you know what? The Dodgers, game one winning in that fashion, you don't want to let the Mets breathe at all. You want to keep them down as far as you can. So today, that is why Francisco Lindor hitting that home run was monumental. You show the Dodgers that, obviously we can score. It was one run homer, but going forward, you show that the Mets can more than score. Obviously, the Mark Vientos home run, grand slam, and how it happened, walking Lindor to get to Vientos. I mean, Dave Roberts, walking Lindor. All right, you know what? If he would have hit a home run, it would have 3-run homer. You essentially walk Lindor to get to one of the hottest players in the playoffs. I don't know. Smart move, not a smart move. But that's where the genius in the lineup, where you put Lindor, Vientos right back to back. This is what I like. And then you have Nimmo backing Vientos up. So you got to give kudos to Manea, especially coming off of yesterday. And yesterday, I had all kind of the criticism in the world. Kodai Senga, what the hell was that? Kodai Senga not even hitting the strike zone. What did he? 4 strikes out of 20-something pitches. It was pathetic. And it wasn't even any pitches that were close. I'm like, couldn't have this been identified in the bullpen before this guy goes out? I'm pretty sure the bullpen coaches could have relayed even the day before, 2 days before, when he's tossing. Something was not right. It turns out Kodai Senga says it was a mechanical flaw, but that could have been disastrous. All I'm thinking in my head is, I'm like, oh, the Dodgers got Jack Flaherty, and that may be the difference in the series. Could it be? No. The Mets put their foot down. Sean Manea throwing a very solid 5 innings, and the Mets doing what they do the entire year when they have their back against the wall. And I know it's game 2, but you don't want to go down 2-0 going to New York. This was a big, big win. Now we split the series. We get the momentum back in our court. We could take 2 out of 3 in New York. We could win 3 out of 3 and advance to the World Series. But, theoretically, rationally, you win 2 out of 3, and then you can split take 1 out of 2 when you go back to LA. The Mets have put themselves in a reasonable position right now where they could make the World Series and beat the Dodgers. Flaherty, you got to figure him out eventually, but even if you can't, the other guys have to beat the Mets, and the other guys thus far have not shown the propensity to beat the New York Mets. I know the Dodgers didn't go through any of the high upper echelon bullpen guys, but you know what? Too bad. Too freaking bad. The Mets will beat. They've shown to beat upper end bullpen guys. Phillies threw their best. The Milwaukee supposedly had the best bullpen in all of baseball. So it doesn't really, I don't really care what level of bullpen guy you thrown at me. Obviously, the best closer in baseball was on the Milwaukee Brewers, and you saw what Pete Alonso did in that particular situation. So no matter what the predicament, the Mets need to win, they win. They need to win, they win. So, I mean, it's really good to see, and I love seeing Dodgers fans. I love seeing the reaction because there is a high expectation that the Mets should be beaten. This should be beaten. So this is why I wanted the Dodgers. I felt that this was a good matchup for us. Oh, yes, they have a good top 3 in their lineup, being Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. He's pretty freaking injured right now, so I'm not going to put him in that top category. So essentially, they have a top 2 in their lineup. So I'm not really scared of that. Yesterday, Max Muncy had that big hit in the first inning, and you see Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts hugging. And I found that hugging once they scored the first 2 runs, they're hugging like they won the series, like they won the World Series. I'm like, guys, you just scored 2 runs in game 1. And it's 9 innings left. It almost felt reminiscent of when Kyle Schwarber hit the game 1 in the division series, home run, and the Phillies went up 1-0, and Kyle Schwarber is standing at the plate posing. And I'm like, what the hell? There's a whole series left. There's a whole 9 innings left. I mean, a lot of times I see there's an overconfidence, and the Mets have been overestimated time and time again. And you know what? For the New York Mets, they need to keep on capitalizing, keep on essentially being that underdog. But you see the body language. If you're a body language expert, you see how confident a guy like Lindor is, a guy who expects to win. They asked Lindor, about being in the moment, and Lindor says, I do not want to let this opportunity go by. I want to be able to eat in New York the rest of my life, on the house. I want to celebrate this team every 10 years. It shows how much they love each other. It shows how much they trust each other. This is a very special unit, and I'll tell you, folks, you don't have to be the most talented team. You have to get hot at the right time. I've been repeating that over and over and over. We've seen it in years past. Now it's happening to us. So let's ride this wave. You see the Mets players they want everybody. Brandon Nimmo, they want everybody in the tent. They want the announcers. They want the media. They want the fans. Everybody who supports this damn team, get on the wagon. Support the team because we have something so damn special. Dodgers fans, go talk to Phillies fans. Go talk to Milwaukee Brewers fans. We knocked off the top 2 or top 2 and top 3 teams in the NL. Now it's time to knock off supposedly the best, right? The best. It depends who you ask, because I heard the Phillies were the best. Funny. All right, folks, this is just my quick little video. I'm going to start getting back into my normal coverage. Like I said, last week I had the hurricane, and now, we kind of, I helped do some cleanup. So, that's about it. Thankfully, God, God was with us, and we, everybody was safe, at least that I know. And, our prayers go out to the people who are still rebuilding from the past hurricanes. Okay. I want to end off on a very high note. Our Mets come back to New York. We come back winning on a high note. We come back with Luis Severino, a guy who has been very, very solid in this postseason, and a guy who I have a lot of trust in. And you know what? Let's continue this momentum. We have all the momentum in the world right now. Essentially, I keep hearing we're playing with house money. And, in some respect, I would agree. Yeah, we are playing with house money, and that is a way to take pressure off ourselves. Dodgers, on the other hand, they're expected to win. The Mets, we're not expected to win. But I wouldn't say we're playing with house money. I would say I expect to freaking win. Let's capitalize on this moment, because we very well know, even if we construct a team next year and we get the very best talent, doesn't guarantee we will be in the same situation next year. Right now, we are in the NLCS, 3 wins away from going to the World Series. This is so special, folks. I am so happy. I'm so proud of this team up and down the lineup. This is going to be, I feel this is going to be almost like a dynasty because of the young talent and the money that we're going to be able to infuse in the next year and years to come. We have Steve Cohen. We don't have the Wilpons. We got lucky in 2015, and we got to somehow Sandy Alderson our way into constructing a rinky-dink roster. That's not going to be the code. That's not going to be the case, folks. We could go after a good, solid, pieces in free agency, and now we can invest in resources, invest in scouting, invest in analytics. This is going to be a whole different ballgame. And at the end of the day, we have an architect, folks. We have an architect, and and that architect, his name is Mr. David Stearns. And in his very first year, taking the team to at least the league championship series, and we expect more. We expect the World Series championship. And how amazing would that be? Steve Cohen made that proclamation 4 short years ago that he would bring a World Series to the city. And everybody was saying, all right, it at least has to be in 2025, and we are so far ahead of schedule. So that's why it feels so damn good. And I'm proud of Vientos, Nimmo, Marte, Winker, Taylor, all the guys up and down the lineup, even guys like Acuna who come in to pinch run, McNeil who's come back, the Squirrel who has come back. It's nice. It's nice to bring a batting champion, being able to be that deep, having Francisco Alvarez at the, even though he hasn't really caught on fire, but even him batting 9, it just shows you how dangerous and talented this team is going forward in the future. And Kodai Senga, I really hope to God that, it was a mechanical issue, and they asked Kodai Senga, and Kodai Senga says it was a mechanical error, and that was the biggest factor in his poor showing against the Dodgers. And he went on to say, it's something that I noticed right before going out to the game. Senga said through interpretive, and I tried to make some adjustments on the fly, but obviously I wasn't able to, and I'm just disappointed in myself that I was not able to. I mean, that's where I really don't get. I'm like, you realize there's a mechanical flaw, and you're trying to make adjustment, but it just tells me that there's got to be more there. Like, you got to be overcoming something to compensate. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But let's let them go with that. It was a mechanical flaw, and it's going to take time to fix. I mean, the guy was bouncing balls in the dirt before the plate, throwing it 2 or 3 feet over the batter's heads, but whatever. It was a mechanical flaw. It was the worst outing I've ever seen Kodai Senga pitch. Hopefully he gets better. We're going to see. I hope to God that the Mets, kind of like overcome that. Because the only criticism that I can kind of take from us winning game 2 is maybe Manea should have been starting game 1. Because I feel that any type of mechanical flaw should have been identified days before the outing, right? Days before the outing. I mean, the Mets had plenty of flexibility to pitch Manea. Manea could have went in the place of Senga, but you know what? Let's deal with what we have in front of us. That's just kind of like, playing Monday morning quarterback. So All right, folks, we're in a roll here. Thank you so much. Let's go Mets. And drop your comments, likes. Thank you all for watching and for participating. Have a great day. And we got 7 games left.